Well. Do you remember the stream I did earlier on today? And in the first 5-10 minutes of the stream, I said you can't really go mad at the board and Tiki and whoever else is running the transfers for Manchester City because you don't know what's happened. Well, around 35-40 minutes ago, I was sent a message by someone who said LB is being investigated for betting. And I was like, what? No way. And then about 10 minutes ago, boom, we got the news that it is confirmed Lucas Paqueta is being investigated by the FA for gambling charges. People want to know the source on this. Well, everyone's kind of coming out with it now. However, Daily Mail in the UK are the first ones to run with it. Exclusive. West Ham star Lucas Paqueta is being investigated by the FA for potential betting breaches as his £70 million transfer to Manchester City collapses 3 months after Ivan Toney was handed a ban. West Ham star Lucas Paqueta has been investigated by the Football Association for potential betting breaches, Mail Sport can reveal. This is by Kieran Gill and Jack Gorn, and of course Jack Gorn is a very, very good source. City were interested in signing Paqueta this summer after approaching this club with a £70 million offer, while the Premier League champions are said to increase their interest after the injury to Kevin De Bruyne. However, it emerged this morning that talks had collapsed over a deal, with sources citing confidential issues. Now, if you remember this morning, we're speaking about it. By the way, guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel. Remember this morning, I was hesitant to go at the board, which is weird because there's a couple of people who've come on that stream and have commented and been like, LB, why are you going sick at the board? I literally said within the first 5 minutes of that stream this morning that you can't go mad at the board because we don't know what those confidential reasons were. Now we know. And that is the reason that Manchester City have pulled out of this deal. And to be fair, it's the correct thing to do. You can't go and buy him for 80 million quid. What about if he gets banned tomorrow for a year? It can now be confirmed that the 25-year-old Brazilian is the subject of an FA investigation over allegations of gambling on football. Now, the specifics are yet to be revealed. However, West Ham nervously wait to see if it will lead to Paqueta being charged by the authorities. And I think that's pretty much it when it comes. It will be, remains to see if Paqueta is available, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Lucas Paqueta is being investigated by the FA for gambling charges. So that now explains why City have pulled out the deal. And as I said before, it's the correct thing to do. City could not go ahead with this deal, paying close to 80, 90 million quid with a gambling charge over his head. I mean, how bad are the charges? We don't know at this moment in time. So, first of all, whoever's done the background investigation for Manchester City here has earned their money big time because they potentially cost us saved us a lot of cash. However, the attention again, as we went through this morning, and we're not going to do it in this stream because it's just duplicating the stuff, is where do we go from here? Where do we go? Because there are very few attacking players out there that realistically we could potentially sign. Do we go and look at potentially João Felix on a loan deal? Do we just accept that we're probably panicking right now? We're probably panicking right now. So do we just go and get João Felix for a loan for a year and say, right, we missed out on Bellingham, we missed out on Maddison, we missed out on Rice, and we can't get Paqueta. Instead of going getting our 5th or 6th choice and spending 80, 90 million pounds, because that's what you are going to spend, let's go and get João Felix for a year, and then we can have all year to assess the situation, and then next year we can go and get our number one target. Now, I know that João Felix is not the perfect answer, but who is? We literally we spent an hour this morning, guys, going through all the options. Potentially Wirtz, potentially. I mean, how much is he going to cost? Do you know what I mean? And he's still 20 years old. So I'm not saying I want João Felix. I'm not saying he's a perfect option. He's far from it. But if you can get him on a loan deal, spend 15 million loan fee or whatever the loan fee would be, and then you've got a whole year then to identify who your next target is going to be in next summer. It's not a perfect scenario. But this is what happens when you miss out on four or five of your top targets. You end up in a not perfect world. So crazy situation developing here. And fair play to Manchester City for identifying this information and this news. It's a shame that the reason this deal has broken down is because of Paqueta with his gambling. But City had to do this. City had to do this. They really, really did. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so some more news coming out here, guys. Some more. Let me bring this up on screen. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good, Brev. Let me bring this up on screen for you. Take a look at this. Oh my god, he could be in serious trouble if this is correct. The English Federation found that relatives of Lucas Paqueta were betting on matches in which the midfielder of West Ham played. An investigation is underway. The deal to join Man City is suspended. So his friends and family were potentially betting on his games. Now, what are the rules there? What were they betting on? Were they betting on him to get a booking? Because if they were betting on him to get a booking or something like that, then that's serious problemo. I don't know the full rules on that. You know what I mean? If I'm a mate, say I'm Kevin De Bruyne's friend, am I allowed to bet on Kevin De Bruyne scoring a goal? Because he can come to me and say, LB, I'm going to score a goal today, right? But he might not, because you know what I mean. But if he comes to me and says, I'm going to get booked today, then that's obviously a serious problem. But this could be an issue for him, a big issue if this is correct. It all depends, I guess, on what they were betting on. Do you know what I mean? So basically, match fixing, says Ismail. Well, it depends, bro. Because like I say to you, right? If I'm a football player and you're my mate, and I say to you, right, I'm going to score today, and then you put a bet on me scoring, and I score, it's kind of like, well, it's not. You know what I mean? Is that a breach? Maybe it is a breach, but in terms of like, it's not really, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. If I said to you, I'm not going to score today, and then you put a bet on me not scoring, then of course that's more dodgy because I can force not scoring. If I'm one-on-one with the goalkeeper, I can trip, I can pass the ball out for a goal kick or whatever. But if I say I'm going to score, if I say to you I'm going to get booked, then that's clearly a problem. So, oh my God. Listen, the one thing I would say is clearly we've got a problem. We've got not City. Football has a problem that needs to be addressed because you've had Ivan Toney now, you've got Lucas Paqueta, and if you think these are the only two players that have been dodging in the betting situation, then you're on cloud cuckoo land. There'll be more footballers who have betted on football matches, who like that sort of stuff. Maybe it is time that that footballers get a little bit more support, a little bit more regular warnings, because this is Ivan Toney, top player, Lucas Paqueta, top player, being banned. You know what I mean? There'll be more to come. So this needs sorting out. Yeah, well, that's it, Jessica. You know what I mean? Clearly, maybe it's because they're getting a lot of money. Who knows? But you got to do something, man. You got to do something. So, yeah, basically, we're back into the situation of, listen, this deal is dead. This deal is dead. We had who come out this morning and said there's a 10% chance it could still happen. Nah, no chance. Unless the FA release a statement within the next 10 days and say, our investigation is finished, he's done nothing wrong, all fine. It is over. We ain't signing Lucas Paqueta. So it's a good job that we did our little scouting mission this morning because we are going to be signing another player. We have to sign another player. If it was me, there's three players really that we went through this morning that I'm interested in for different reasons. Number one, Florian Wirtz. I think that he looks like he could potentially be a Kevin De Bruyne replacement. He's young, but still has incredible numbers. And he looks exciting as a player. The problem is he's going to cost a lot of money. Number two, Pedro Goncalves. Some of the most incredible goals and assist numbers I've seen from an attacking midfielder. Apparently he has a release clause. Not sure what that is. If someone could quickly Google Pedro Goncalves' release clause and let me know in the chat, I appreciate that. But he also plays in the Portuguese league. So, you're kind of like, how much can you really look into that? You also don't have any Portugal games data to go off. So you are literally just going off his Sporting Lisbon data. And that is difficult to sort of fully buy into. And then the third, which I do think is an option that we should potentially consider. And I know you guys don't like it. And just to confirm, I am also not a fan, but it buys us time. And that is to try and get Joao Felix on a season-long loan deal. And what that does is, the reason you're doing that is not because necessarily you want Joao Felix. The reason you're doing that is because you recognise that you need an attacking midfielder, because we need one. You also recognise that you've missed out on 5 of your top targets, and that whoever you go for now is probably sort of a panic buy. Therefore, let's get a player in on a loan deal, and let's forget about it this summer. And then we've got the whole next 12 months to identify the next player, our top target for next year. At that point, Florian Wirtz is going to get another year. You're going to get another year of Pedro Concave, and you're also going to get him playing for Portugal. I'm not saying I like it, but I'm just saying, whoever we go for now, City were interested in Maddison, 100%. The person that told me about this betting charge told me about that as well. So I've got a decent little source on that. We wanted Maddison, but we didn't really go commit for it. We wanted Bellingham. Some people in my DMs and stuff saying, LB City, we're never in for Bellingham. You are? Did you just completely just ignore the month of June where we was completely in for him? We was definitely in for Bellingham, got rejected. We went in for Rice. People being like, we didn't really want him. The fact is we bid 90 million quid for him, so we was in for him. And now we've missed out Paqueta. So whoever we get now is going to be at least our 5th choice. So the Joao Felix thing buys us time. And who knows? You know what I mean? People acting like Joao Felix is a terrible player. Is he the perfect sort of profile for us? Probably not. He's still a good player. He'll still create chances for Erling Haaland. And it gives us a year to relax. Because I've seen people now just lose their shit over this. And I just don't think that's the way to go. Felix is not a midfielder, LB. I get he's not naturally a midfielder, but he can play in an attacking midfield position. Do you know what I mean? People can, that's what I'm saying. I know he's not perfect. I know he's not the ideal profile, but he is a player that can come in and do a job when we need him to do a job. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, you are going to be getting a 5th choice. Now, listen, if City decide, no, we want Florian Wirtz, I'm all game for that. I'm happy for that. But I just don't think we're going to do that. I just really don't see us doing that. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Big up Spells with a 5, says 80 million euro release clause for Pedro. Okay, thank you very much, Spells. I appreciate that, bro. That's a lot of money for a player that's only played in the Portuguese league. This is why it's a shame he'd not had any Portugal data. That really that was a big blow for me this morning when I seen that. I really wanted him to have some Portuguese data, but national team Portuguese data, but he's only got that Liga Portugal. Listen, at the end of the day, you watch the player. Sometimes you don't really need to care about the opposition. You can see the way they play, and you can do it. But like you're talking what's 80 million euros in pounds? Let me just double check that. 80 pounds. It's 68 million quid. It's not ridiculous, but I know if we sign him for 68 million quid and activate his release clause, there'll be a lot of people concerned that he's only ever played in League Portugal. And this is why I'm saying getting Joao Felix might not be the worst thing in the world. Let's have a look what other people are saying in the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. Matthias Nunes from Wolves says Harry MCFC. Rowan Phillips says let's go and get Kudus. Han says Barella is not keen to leave Italy. Edge says Felix is class, but Pep won't like him because he doesn't track back. Georgios, LB, why don't you rate Barella at City? I don't think I've said I don't. Have I said that I don't rate Barella at City? I think the reason that I've not really sort of entertained Barella to Manchester City is because by all accounts, he doesn't want to leave Italy. So I'm not 100% sure on that. Bevel says LB, Diaz and Haaland wasn't first choice either. True, but the only thing I would say on both of those points, Bevel, because you are right, is with the Diaz situation, there was a lot of centre-backs at the time. A lot. We was in for Koulibaly. We was looking at Diogo Carlos from Seville. Koundé from Seville. We had Diaz. There was probably other players that I think we was linked with that Soyuncu. We would look with loads of centre-backs. There was a lot of good centre-backs. Haaland, similarly. We went in for Kane, and Haaland was available next year, and they had a release clause, so there was an option. The thing with the attacking midfielders is there isn't a lot. There isn't a lot out there. We've been through the list this morning. Went through the top 10 or top 15 best attacking midfielders in Europe right now, and there's none that you can really get. That's the only difference, really. And that's why I think Florian Wirtz might be the guy that we might want to look at, but it's going to cost you, I think, upwards of 80, 90 million quid. He's still very, very young. Do you pull the trigger on him now, or do you wait another year? That's the issue. That's Lingard. Jeez, man. Should I put the Looney Tunes background on? Yeah, there you can go. Speaking about Jesse Lingard, we'll put the Looney Tunes background on. Jeez. Ryan Cherky, yeah, we went through him this morning. Nax, yeah, weird, man, weird. Very strange transfer window, this, isn't it? I feel like this. I don't feel like we've had a transfer window like this before. We've lost Gundogan and Mahrez, which was absolutely gutting. One of the players, Gundogan, we probably should have kept if we offered him a 2-year contract, but we messed around with offering him a 1-year deal. I don't think Mahrez actually wanted to leave, and I don't think City really wanted to sell Mahrez. I just think he got an opportunity so good that he couldn't turn it down with the cash that he ended up going. There was a little bit of a debate on that, whether that was a good sale or not. I still maintain to this day that it wasn't a good fee that we got for Mahrez. I know people say it was a good fee. It was the third highest fee for an over 30-year-old player ever. I still think that 30 million quid for a guy who guarantees you close to 30 G&A a year is not good fee. We had rumours that Bernardo Silva was going to leave, Kyle Walker was going to leave. Now it's looking like both of them are going to stay. We've missed out on 3 or 4 of our main targets for the midfield, which is unusual. We usually get the targets that we want. It's just a strange transfer window. Very, very strange. Like I don't think we've had a transfer window like this before, to be honest with you. Weird, man. Let's have a look. Lack of preparation from the board. It was, I don't know if it was was it? I don't know. I don't know if the board have done anything wrong here, to be honest with you. The only thing that I would say is maybe they should have made a decision on Jude Bellingham sooner. I think basically what happened is they wanted Jude Bellingham badly. They wanted him badly, and they was prepared to fight for him till the end. However, what that did was meant that by the time he'd signed for Real Madrid, Declan Rice had already pretty much told Arsenal he wants Arsenal. So when we went in for Declan Rice, we found out that he wasn't really... He was still looking to go to Arsenal, so that put us on the back foot there. By that point, Maddison had already agreed to join Tottenham. And I think, obviously, coming in for the Paqueta deal, City have not done anything wrong on the Paqueta deal. It was a good player. He's a good profile. He's a good age. He's got good stats. They've just been stung. They've just been stung. I don't think they've done anything technically wrong here, in my opinion, with the Paqueta deal. I just think that going in for Jude Bellingham and sticking in there until the end, which, by the way, again, isn't necessarily a mistake, by the way. Isn't necessarily a mistake, because I can understand why City have stuck in there till the end for Jude Bellingham. He's a world-class talent. He could go on and win Ballon d'Ors. So they've stuck in there. They've done everything they possible, but it's just because we've not got him, it's now put us on the back foot a little bit. But I don't think I can really blame the board there, to be honest with you, bro. There will be people that disagree with me and agree with you 100%, but I'm struggling on that one. Bevel says keeping Silva is deal of the summer, in my opinion. Well, listen, it's a fucking good job we have kept him. Otherwise, we would be in the fucking mud. 100%. Imagine if we didn't have Bernardo Silva now. Hell. 100%. You're spot on there, bro. Keeping Bernardo has been a great deal for us. And Danzibar says Felix will be good for us. He can play attacking mid, and City have always liked him. Don't get the negativity on him. I agree with you. All I'm saying to the people that don't really want Felix is, do you not think if we just get him on a season-long loan, we can just breathe? We've got a player in, and when we can assess the situation now for the next 12 months, and then whoever that number 1 target is, next year, as soon as that transfer window opens, boom, we get him in. Rather than going for a 5th target, you know what I mean, and going again. I also say, that we look a little bit desperate. So whoever we go for now is going to be putting the price up, mate. If I was a club, if I was Leverkusen and I've got Florian Wirtz, by the way, I'm already putting his selling price at minimum £80 million. Minimum. If City come knocking, I'm like, here we go. Payday. City like, we want Florian Wirtz. All right. We know you do. You want everyone. You want any attacking midfielder that you can potentially get your hands on. 150 million, 120 million. It could be stupid. What Felix does is takes the pressure off, and next year you can go again. Now, if City do want to go for a Florian Wirtz or Pedro at Sporting Lisbon and go and pay the cash, no problem. I ain't got a problem with that. My only thing is if they want to do that, they need to do it now. They need to do it ASAP. You can't be waiting until the last couple of days in the transfer window. There's only 12 days left. So you need to be speeding it up. You need to be speeding it up, bro. Big up to Tinsay as well. Said the board didn't realise the possibilities of so many players would leave after the treble. Well, how many players have actually left, though, Tinsay? Gundogan's left. And that was their own fault. That was their only real mistake this year. And Mahrez, I don't think Mahrez wanted to leave. I don't think City wanted him to go. I just think Mahrez got the offer in and he was like, too good to turn that down. 300, 400k a week tax-free. And City were like, okay, 30 million quid for a 33-year-old. It's not bad. You know what I mean? And I don't think the right wing position is necessarily an issue for us because I think there's players out there. Unlike this attacking midfield position where players are scarce, the right wingers, they seem to be everywhere. So, and I think we'll get Doku in. I mean, I'm kind of like, well, will we actually get him in now? Because given the fact what's happened with Paqueta, but I do think we'll get Jeremy Doku in. I just think it's this centre attacking midfielder. So I don't really think that was a major issue, bro. It probably plays a small part, to be honest, but not a major thing. Not a major thing. Felix said he dreams about playing for Barcelona. Listen, a lot of players dream about playing for Barcelona. That's why I'm not, by the way, I'm totally against signing Joao Felix on a permanent transfer, but on a loan deal, I think you could do a lot worse. 100%. Right, guys, it is time now for the opposition fan preview. I'm joined by Pete and Chris from the Loaded Mag Newcastle United fan channel. So this stream will automatically redirect you. We're getting started right now. We're going to talk about the game tomorrow night. It's going to be an interesting conversation. So don't go anywhere. Stream will automatically redirect you. Opposition fan preview coming right up. See you in a minute.